Woodland Hills will be receiving. And we welcome folks on Woodland Hills Television now joining us here at West Mifflin Titan Stadium as the Woodland Hills Wolverines take on the Bethel Park Blackhawks in this WPIAL semifinal matchup on the highway to Hines. Bethel Park has won the toss. They have elected to defer their choice until the second half, so the Wolverines take their choice and they will receive left to right on your radio dial, on your internet browser, and of course on television as well. Thanks for joining us here on Woodland Hills Television. Back deep to return for Woodland Hills, Dom Timbers, and the ever so dangerous Lafayette Pitts, who has returned several kicks for touchdowns this season. Kicking off for the Bethel Park Blackhawks is number 90, Brendan Didiano, the 5'11 senior kicker for Bethel Park. Bethel Park in their road whites, Woodland Hills in their home blacks.
Keep an eye on the kicking game tonight because this is Bethel's backup kicker, and you see the short kick to start this game. Woodland Hills should have an advantage in the kicking department tonight.
And the kickoff goes out of bounds over on the far sideline near the 30-yard line. Mike Caprera, the closest Wolverine to the football, but he will let that roll out of bounds, and it will be Woodland Hills ball, 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. But Woodland Hills has the choice to force Bethel Park to re-kick, which they will do. So we have yet to officially get underway here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. So again, kicking off will be Brendan Didiano, the reserve kicker for the Blackhawks. Moving up about 10 yards are the deep men for the Wolverines, Timbers and Lafayette Pitts.
And Pitts, Adam, you mentioned his prowess in kicking in the kick return game. 3 punt returns for a touchdown, also 1 kick return for a touchdown. Lafayette Pitts has 9 overall touchdowns, and he and Dom Timbers both very dangerous back there.
You can hear the band, the Woodland Hills band, the end zone to our left. Bethel Park's band, the end zone to our right, in a nearly packed house in West Mifflin, PA. And Didiano now set to kick off from his own 35-yard line. And Didiano drops his hand, and we are underway in West Mifflin, PA, and we will see Mike Caprera on the return for Woodland Hills, the Wolverine linebacker, to the far sideline, and he'll get about 4 yards on the return from his own 38 up to the 42-yard line. So a good choice for Woodland Hills to accept the penalty and move the Blackhawks back 5 yards. So that will give Woodland Hills a positive gain of 7 yards up to the 42-yard line, as we are set for the Wolverines' first offensive drive.
Yeah, it makes sense for a couple of reasons. Not only Woodland Hills wants the ball in the hands of Pitts and Timbers, but they also want to put Bethel Park's backup kicker, Didiano, 5 yards back. So all in all, it works out good because Woodland Hills is going to start 1st and 10 at their own 42, so only 58 yards away from the end zone. Woodland Hills, good starting field position.
Wolverines in a one-back set, crabbing from left to right is Tompkins. Handoff goes to Timbers, and Timbers is undercut at the line of scrimmage. He had Caden Mosley-Smith as a lead blocker, but Bray Ford came up there and undercut him for no gain, and that will bring up 2nd down and 10 for Woodland Hills.
And yeah, Bray Ford, you mentioned he made the tackle on that first play. He's also Bethel Park's leading rusher, but we know Bethel plays that 3-4 front. They'll switch it up a little bit, but Ford plays safety, and those safeties will come up close to the line. That's what they did on that opening carry there to hold Dom to no gain.
High backfield for the Wolverines this time. Yezovic is under center, back to pass, looking left, throwing left. It's complete to Lafayette Pitts, and Pitts is across the 45 to the 47-yard line before he's driven back by a gang of white jerseys. They'll give Lafayette Pitts the 48-yard line, so a gain of 6 brings up 3rd down and 4 on that completed pass from Yezovic to Pitts.
Yeah, and we've seen Woodland Hills, when you talk about the passing game for Woodland Hills, we've seen them trying to develop, a short little passing game, and they do have weapons. As Lafayette Pitts, a good job. That's now his 9th catch of the season, and get it out there, get Yezovic's confidence going, and set yourself up on 3rd down here. 3rd and 4 facing Woodland Hills.
Yezovic, a completely new quarterback here in the playoffs. He just has such confidence for the black and turquoise. Wolverines running a counter to the left side. Timbers will try to run against the grain, and we saw some movement along the defensive front for the Bethel Park Blackhawks, and a flag flew before the snap. And will it go against Bethel Park? If so, it will be a 1st down for the Wolverines.
Yeah, we see a lot of pre-snap motion from Bethel on both sides of the football. We'll see if we can get the call here.
So the Wolverines are forced to punt as Bethel Park will decline the penalty and take the 1 yard loss for Dom Timbers. And on to punt this one away will be Lafayette Pitts for Woodland Hills. Pitts standing at his own 35-yard line. Kwiatkowski back to return for the Blackhawks. The snap is true, and Pitts will run to the right and boot this one away, and it will spin down at the 25-yard line. A fair catch by Kwiatkowski as Mike Lee was there. And had there not been a fair catch, I think Lee may have cleaned Kwiatkowski's clock. And it will be 1st and 10 for Bethel Park. Ball at their own 23.
Yeah, so Woodland Hills offense can't do anything in their first drive, and now Bethel Park's offense going to take over. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Bethel, a very solid, balanced offense. They're led by their quarterback, Matthew Bliss, very mobile, good left-handed quarterback, good feet and good arm. They also have a power running game and a couple of good receivers, so very good balance for the Blackhawks on offense.
There comes the dominant Woodland Hills defense on the field. Empty set backfield as Bliss is back to pass, looking right, throwing right, and the pass intended for number 11, Alex Barofio, and that was well over his head, and you could see the happy feet by Bliss as he dropped back, and he just threw that one well too strong. And Bethel Park now faces a 2nd and 10 after that incomplete pass.
Yeah, and Bliss is a very accurate quarterback, 72 completions in 115 attempts, over 1,000 yards, 10 touchdown passes for the young man, only 1 INT. He also makes good decisions as well, but incompletion against this dominant, as Adam Guskey mentioned, dominant Wolverine defense.
Bliss with one back behind him. That one back gets the football and is driven back by 3 white jerseys, including Mike Caprera and Kanan Mosley Smith. Also in on the play is Juan Price for the Wolverines. No gain, and that will bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, defensively, Woodland Hills only yield about 7 points per ball game. And this Woodland Hills defense, the front 4 is stout. The linebackers fly to the ball. Both corners are stout. And Woodland Hills, Bethel Park has the only rushing touchdown against Woodland Hills defense so far this season. So that's something to keep an eye on as well.
Jared Pratt was the ball carrier for Bethel Park. No gain on that play. Now Bliss is rolling left and throwing left, and that pass will be intended along the near side for a Bethel Park receiver, Kwiatkowski. He couldn't pull that one in. On the coverage for Woodland Hills, number 12 for the Wolverines, and that is Javante Pitts. That incompletion brings up 4th down and 10 for the Blackhawks, and this will be a punting situation. Just getting word that Gateway has already scored and is up 7-0 over the North Hills Indians.
And the Gators have been scoring all season long, so the winner tonight will face either Gateway or North Hills.
And the Blackhawks punt this one away to Lafayette Pitts. And a good job by a pair of defenders for Bethel Park rushing down the field and met Pitts just as he caught that football, brought him down at the 40-yard line. So Woodland Hills 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line, and television is going to take a break, so we will too. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports. And again, 9:20 to play here in the first quarter. Motion man from right to left is J-Ron Polk. The handoff will go to Dom Timbers. He'll cut it up the middle, finds some room, and it takes it across the 45-yard line up to the 48. An 8-yard gain for Dom Timbers. And Woodland Hills finds themselves with 2nd down and 2 now at their own 48.
Yeah, good job by the left side of that Woodland Hills offensive line, getting a nice little push, and then Timbers, what he's known for as a running back, the little cutback lane. So Woodland Hills, Timbers finally getting off with a nice run, and Woodland Hills has had pretty good field position these first 2 possessions. We'll see if they can cash it in. Good chunk of 8 on 1st down for Timbers.
High backfield behind Jezovic. Woodland Hills in a double tight end set, and a motion man from left to right in Lafayette Pitts. And a flag flies, and I think Bethel Park found themselves in the neutral zone. We saw Jezovic with the hard count draw the Vikings off at least 5 times last week. This will be the first time that Bethel Park will be charged with encroachment. And this will march the ball into Bethel Park territory to the Blackhawks' 47-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills from the Blackhawks 47. 8:40 to play. We are scoreless here in West Mifflin.
Yeah, John Jezovic, his stats aren't gaudy, but he gets the job done. He doesn't turn the ball over, and one of the attention to details, that good hard count where he can buy his team 5 yards. So Jezovic does things as a senior to help this ball team win.
Under center is Jezovic with an eye backfield behind him. A handoff goes to Tompkins. He bounces off a blocker, and he's got some room. He's in the open field, 30, 25, 20. Sidesteps a man at the 15, and Cameron Tompkins brought down at the 1 yard line. He fumbles the ball into the end zone where it's picked up by Lafayette Pitts, but they're going to say Cameron Tompkins was down at the 1 yard line. So a big 46-yard carry for Cameron Tompkins as he rumbled all the way past a gang of white jerseys and was finally brought down from behind at the 1.
He did, and Cam had success running the football in the first matchup against Bethel Park. Cam Tompkins came into the game of 380 yards rushing, and the second leading rusher for Woodland Hills. And looking at this run, the defense didn't even know that Cam had the ball, and then they got it down to about the Bethel Park 20 and put a shake move on the corner, Matthew Bliss, and nearly punched it in. First and goal, Woodland Hills at the 1.
Motion man from left to right is Gray. Handoff Timbers into the end zone for a Woodland Hills touchdown, and the Wolverines are up 6-0 with 7 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first quarter. So Dom Timbers has scored his 24th touchdown of the season.
Absolutely, and 34th as a Wolverine in Dom Timbers' 2-year career. So Woodland Hills, I asked the question, would the Woodland Hills Wolverines take advantage of that good field position? They do. They start that drive at the 40-yard line. 3 plays later, including a penalty, 60 yards later, Woodland Hills punches it in.
And Sam Schifo on to attempt the extra point that is up and in. And it's good to see the sophomore leg of Sam Schifo back out on the field for Woodland Hills after missing last week with a sinus infection. Woodland Hills leads Bethel Park 7-0. 7 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first quarter. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Stadium where Woodland Hills has taken the lead over the Bethel Park Blackhawks 7-0 following a 46-yard carry for Cam Tompkins. A 1-yard touchdown run for Dom Timbers put the Wolverines on the board 6-0. An extra point by Sam Schifo stretches the lead to 7-0, and that's where we find ourselves here in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania in the WPIAL semifinals.
Wolverines march at 60-yard. It takes them 3 plays, and Adam mentioned it, Dom Timbers, his 23rd rushing touchdown of the season, and putting Woodland Hills up 7-0. So Woodland Hills striking on their second offensive possession. You know, it's eerily similar to the first meeting where the Woodland Hills Wolverines were able to just run the football down Bethel Park's throat and get an early lead, but Bethel Park was able to answer in that game and score 2 consecutive touchdowns.
Schifo's low squibbing kick will be returned from the 30-yard line up to the 36-yard line on the return for Bethel Park. Number 21, Luke Olson. And Bethel Park with their best starting field position out of their 2 drives up at their own 37-yard line.
You know who was there to meet him on the special teams? The special teams demon, number 9, Quentin Pitts, the 6-foot senior, always making plays on that kickoff team. And a good job by number 9 there, meeting the ball carrier. So Bethel Park going to start average field position, 1st and 10 at their own 37.
And they'll start out in the I backfield as Bray Ford's going to get a carry following behind his fullback. And Ford's going to pick up 5 yards up to the 42-yard line. So Ford on his first carry picks up some positive yardage for the Blackhawks.
Yeah, in the first meeting between the Blackhawks and the Wolverines, really it was fullback Jared Pratt who did a lot of the damage. Ford had an okay game, about 24 carries, 77 yards. But Wolverines really made Ray Ford work for every yard that he got. And coming into the game, Ford has rushed for over 1,200 yards, 19 touchdowns. So battle of top backs here in Quad A.
Again, an I backfield for the Blackhawks. Motion man from right to left. Ford is the tailback as Bliss steps under center. The handoff to Ford. He tries to slide through a hole, but Mike Caprera is there to meet him at the line of scrimmage, and Ford will pick up just a yard up to the 43-yard line.
And you see the Blackhawks trying to establish Bray Ford in this, I formation running game, but Mike Caprera from his middle linebacker spot just slid over. Juan Price took the blocker on, enabling Caprera to make that tackle. Good job by Wolverine defense, and Wolverines have not given up a lot of yardage or a lot of points at all here in 2009.
We have another scoring update in from Fox Chapel High School as North Hills has found their way to the scoreboard. The score now reads 7-3, Gateway with the lead in the first quarter. Wildcat formation now as it is Kwiatkowski in the backfield, and he will be met at the line of scrimmage. No gain as Kwiatkowski takes the direct snap and is met at the line of scrimmage by a pair of Wolverines. Devlin McBride in on the tackle, as well as Julian Turner, the junior defensive tackle.
Yeah, Turner, one of the anchors on that defensive line, and one of the reasons this defense is so stout is that front four. Turner that time hosting a bevy of Wolverines to the football. So 2 possessions for the Blackhawks, trying to give a different look, but results the same. Wolverine D stuffs them.
And the Blackhawks get this one away just in the nick of time, where it'll be returned by Lafayette Pitts on the near sideline. Pitts will finally be spun out of bounds as it gets across the 25 to the 27-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills.
Absolutely. So Woodland Hills going to start in their worst field position. Started the initial possession of the ball game at the 42, and the last scoring drive. Last time Woodland Hills had the ball, they started at the 40 and marched it 60 yards. So Woodland Hills, and this is the time you have an early lead. Your defense has held Bethel Park down twice, and Wolverine, that big offensive line, and Wolverines can really start to establish the run here and do what they do.
High backfield for Woodland Hills in a double tight end set. We saw this set for the majority of the game last week. Polk is the motion man from right to left. The handoff goes to Timbers. He'll try to take it over left guard. Modest yardage as the ball springs loose. And John Yezevich, who was back admiring the play, dove on the football smartly as that ball sprung out of there. And it rolled back to the 26-yard line. So John Yezevich saving the day for the Wolverines after that loss of 3 brings up 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, and Adam, that was Jared Pratt, number 19, the linebacker who stood Dom Timbers up there, and Timbers carrying that ball a little bit high. Pratt, the fullback / linebacker that time, stood Timbers up and swiped at that ball and popped it up in the air, but luckily Woodland Hills recovers, but it's going to be a loss on the play, bring up 2nd and long for Woody High.
2nd down and 13 for the Wolverines at the 26. And it'll be an end around. Here comes Lafayette Pitts with a blocker in front of him. Pitts across the 30. Pulled out of bounds at the 35-yard line. And it looked like Kwiatkowski may have had the face mask of Lafayette Pitts, but not too much protest from the near sideline. And it will be 3rd and considerably shorter, 3rd and 3 now for the Wolverines at the 35. A 10-yard gain for Pitts on that carry.
Yeah, and let's not discredit this Wolverine offense. They are explosive in their own right, Adam, averaging 31 points per game, and this is that extra dimension that they have. The end around, they could either go to Pitts or J-Ron Polk, and this gets the defense going one way and just sets up things for later on in the ball game. So good gain there to bring it down to 3rd and 3.
Yezevich is under center, counter to the near side. Timbers bounces off a blocker and is finally spun down close to 1st down yardage, and the spot on the near side appears to be across the 38 near the 39, and it should be a 1st down for the Wolverines, and it is. Dom Timbers with that 4-yard carry, 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills at the 39.
Yeah, and the second effort here really got Dom that 3rd down. And Kana Mosley Smith came out pulling the right guard and was able to make a couple of blocks there and give Dom just enough room. So Dom knew what he needed, got it. Fresh set of downs for Woodland Hills, leading 7-0 here, 4:25 remaining in the 1st quarter.
Yezevich is under center. Hard count. Handoff Tompkins up the middle, and here he goes again across the midfield stripe, and finally dragged down by 2 Blackhawks at the 47-yard line. So a big pickup there for Cam Tompkins of 14 yards.
Absolutely, and Cam came into the game with a pretty gaudy average, over 7 yards per carry, 5 touchdowns, and Cam's really gashing him is Cam Tompkins. Tompkins also, not only can he carry the ball, a good leading fullback, a good leading blocker at the fullback spot, and he can catch passes as well.
Right now, Cameron Tompkins averaging 30 yards a carry, a pair of carries for 60 yards. Yezevich under center, the Wolverines 1st and 10 at the Blackhawks 47. Pitch to Timbers over to the far sideline. He'll cut it back to the inside, and he's brought down along the hash, is close to 1st down yardage. Gain of at least 9, and we'll see where this spot is. And they will bring out the sticks. No, it will be a 1st down. The official doesn't even call for the sticks. He says it is a 10-yard gain for the senior, the future Syracuse Orange, Dom Timbers. He now has 24 yards on the ground to go along with a TD and a fumble that the Wolverines were able to recover.
That staple running play, Adam, a simple toss left, and Timbers following his fullback. Also pulling was KK Mosley Smith and the left tackle as well.
Straight up the middle, it's Dom Timbers this time behind a gang of black jerseys pushing forward, and a nice gain there for the Wolverines of 3 yards inside of the 35 to the 34-yard line. And the Wolverines with that beef between the center and the left guard were able to push forward between Caden Mosley-Smith and Julian Turner to pick up those 3 tough yards.
Absolutely, and this is Wolverine football right here. Running the football, you have a lead, you control the clock. We see clock's ticking, 2:47 remaining here in the first quarter. With the lead, Wolverines using that big offensive line to move the ball down the field.
Yezevich under center, pitches to the near side. The stretch play for Timbers. He cuts through a pair of defenders, splits another 2 defenders, splits another 2 defenders, and Dom Timbers shakes and bakes his way all the way for a 35-yard Woodland Hills touchdown, and the Wolverines are up 13-0 with 2:31 to play in the first quarter.
The boys came to play tonight, didn't they? Look at the offensive line, that toss right, and they get the lineman pulling, and Timbers, did a lot of work himself there, splitting 2 defenders. And wow, Woodland Hills clicking on all cylinders right now, and I did not think it would be this easy for Woodland Hills, but give this the offense credit. They have come out, been explosive, they've been powerful, and have just mowed right over the Blackhawks.
A flag on the point after touchdown attempt. So we may have seen some motion along the offensive front. Or no, it will be the Blackhawks finding their way into the neutral zone. So Woodland Hills will attempt the point after touchdown. Moving up a yard. Chifo on to attempt the extra point out of the hold of J-Ron Polk. The long snapper is Mike Caprera. The snap is true, the hold is down, that kick is up, and that kick is good, and Woodland Hills stretches the lead to 14-0 over the Bethel Park Blackhawks. 2 minutes, 31 seconds remain here in the first quarter. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Here we go. And welcome back to West Mifflin Titan Stadium, where Woodland Hills has stretched their lead to 14-0 off of a 34-yard touchdown run by Dom Timbers. He split 2 defenders 3 different times. That means he broke 6 tackles as he ran into the house for the Woodland Hills touchdown. The Sam Chifo extra point gave Woodland Hills a 14-point lead.
Timbers' second touchdown of the night, 24th on the season. 7-play, 72-yard drive, 7 plays, all runs for Woodland Hills, running over the Blackhawks en route to the end zone on that possession.
And Chifo's kick again is squibbed for the Bethel Park Blackhawks across the 35-yard line, where it'll be again returned by number 21, Luke Olson, and Olson is undercut by Quentin Pitts for Woodland Hills, another special teams tackle for Quentin Pitts of Woodland Hills, and we have a Blackhawks shaken up on the play. Scoring update from Fox Chapel High School as Gateway has stepped out to a 21-3 lead over the North Hills Indians, and Gateway rolling as they appear to be the number 1 seed, and they're heading probably at this point to the Heinz Field in the WPIAL championship game.
We don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but that's kind of the matchup everybody wanted, Gateway and Woodland Hills, and we know these teams bitter rivals, and that would be an awesome championship game to have next week, but we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Looking good, though. Bethel Park is capable. Like I said, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves because this Bethel Park offense is potent. Matt Bliss can definitely throw the football, had over 200 yards passing in the first meeting, and he's got good feet, so I wouldn't count Bethel Park out yet, but they're facing an uphill battle against this dominant Wolverine D.
Bliss is back to pass, looks to throw it across the middle. He was hit by Juan Price as he got rid of that football. The pass intended for Alex Barofio on the coverage for the Wolverines, number 10, Ron Devon.
Absolutely, and we don't mention these corners a whole heck of a lot because, the other teams don't throw at them a whole lot, but Ron Devon, you mentioned number 10, great, and Davon Dixon's on the other side. Both corners will cover you, they will hit you, they're both athletic, and that time one-on-one, Ron Devon, he did his job, and Wolverines bring in the pressure, something they did in the second half against Bethel Park that really turned the game around. The Wolverine pressure, you saw Price that time.
High backfield this time for the Blackhawks, 2nd and 10 from their own 37. Handoff to Bray Ford, tries to dance his way for a few yards and is pushed forward from behind by A couple of white jerseys for a gain of 3 up to the 40-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 7 for the Blackhawks. 2:10 to play here in the first quarter with the Wolverines up 14-zip.
And if you look at that replay, that was Kanan Mosley-Smith, 55, coming from his end spot there. Took on a blocker and also waited for the ball carrier. Got some help from number 7, bumped Richard Gray, who's outstanding in himself. But I mentioned no weak links on this Wolverine defense. 1 through 11, they are very, very solid.
Bliss stepping under center again with an eye backfield behind him. The fullback, Pratt. The tailback, Bray Ford. Motion man from left to right is Barofio. Play action, Bliss is back to pass, and he will elude 2 Wolverines still on his feet, as now he'll try to run for the first down and get close to first down yardage up to the 45-yard line, but a pair of black jerseys converged on Bliss, preventing him from gaining the first down, and it'll be 4th down and 2 for the Blackhawks at the 45. Decision time for Jeff Matheny and the Blackhawk bench.
Yeah, this is the reason that Bethel Park's able to sustain drives. You see Bliss there, the play action pass. Wolverines not really biting on the play pass. 3rd down, and a couple of Wolverines nearly had him, and Juan Price did a good job to come up and stop him short of the first down. But Bethel, Adam, they're going to have confidence in their defense. It looks like they're going to kick this one away.
And it's Philip Vargo punting this away for Bethel Park. A deep punt back to the 15-yard line. And it's Pitts retreating, and now he has some room, picks up a block. 30, 40, here he comes, 50, 40,
on the play,
30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown for Lafayette Pitts, but this one is coming back as there's a flag on the play, and I'm not quite sure that this flag was earned. It was well behind the play, and it looked like it was a clean block, but this will negate what was an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown by Lafayette Pitts.
And I believe Dom Timbers, number 22 for Woodland Hills, threw the block in question at him. I saw it as it was happening, and I didn't really see an infraction there, and anxious to look at the replay, but I believe Dom helping out his teammate there as Pitts. He's dangerous. The back, it was a pretty good kick, and that actually worked against Bethel.
There was no block in the back. There was no block in the back anywhere. There were 3 devastating blocks by Woodland Hills Wolverines, and you can hear the fans along the near sideline not at all happy with the officials' call, backing again what would have been an 85-yard punt return for a touchdown back to the 22-yard line. Woodland Hills takes over 1st and 10 with 40 seconds to play in the first quarter.
And Bethel Park may want to think twice about kicking it to Lafayette Pitts. Like I said, their punter has a pretty good leg over there, and that's actually a bad thing because it gives Pitts more room to operate. And I bet Bethel Park will try and kick the ball out of bounds that time. So Woodland Hills nearly going up 21. They'll start this drive 1st and 10 after the penalty at their own 22.
Handoff again up the middle. Tompkins, flag on the play as Cameron Tompkins is going to take it to the house, but it will be negated by a penalty. Kwiatkowski forces a fumble, and it's J-Ron Polk picking up the football for Woodland Hills. He's still on his feet, fumbles it again, and it's Dom Timbers falling on the football for a Woodland Hills touchdown. But all of that excitement isn't going to count because of a holding penalty way back at the 23-yard line. So my goodness gracious, the second flag negating a beautiful play. The first time it was a 85-yard kick return for a touchdown. This time it's 3 fumbles picked up and finally a touchdown for Woodland Hills, but this will be negated by a holding call.
And that play's not gonna count in the record books as we get the call here.
And you can certainly hear we are in the crowd outside of the press box here at West Mifflin Titan Stadium. This is going to march Woodland Hills back even further.
How exciting was that play, Adam? Like I said, for a play that's not going to go in the books, we saw Tompkins, who looked like he was going to go all the way, and a good job by Bethel Park not quitting. They forced Tompkins to fumble. Then J-Ron Polk hustling on the play. He picked it up. Looked like he was going to go all the way. They stripped him. And then Johnny on the spot at the very end. Timbers 22 in the end zone. So an exciting play that won't count. But the Wolverine faithful, I hear you. The boos, I think, are justified. Penalties on back-to-back plays. Woodland Hills breaking some explosive plays off. It has been exciting here.
Timeout on the field, and we are a long run by Tompkins that was fumbled, picked up by Polk that was fumbled, and finally covered in the end zone by Dom Timbers, but that was negated by what appeared to be a legitimate holding call, which appeared to be against the center, Julian Turner. So Woodland Hills now faces a 1st down and 20 from their own 12-yard line. It's Yezi back to pass, flag on the play, and the pass is intercepted for the Bethel Park Blackhawks along that far sideline, and it's Bliss returning it for a pick 6 for Bethel Park, and we shall see what this flag is for, but if it is for If it is against Woodland Hills, you have to assume that Bethel Park will decline this penalty.
I saw Bray Ford, Adam blitz, and I saw Mike Lee blocking him on the edge. You see 23 brought the safety blitz. And I don't know if they got Lee for maybe trying to grab him as Ford went by him.
I think this was some sort of an illegal shift penalty against the Woodland Hills Wolverines. And that is the third straight penalty against this Woodland Hills club. And right now it seems like the folks in stripes are trying to make their impact on this football game. They want to make themselves known.
Absolutely, and what a turn of events. Woodland Hills was looking at a 3-score lead, and then Bliss with that pick 6 for Bliss. It's his 4th interception of the season. And he's a good two-way player, and there's some miscommunication on the route between Yezevich and the receiver. Bliss takes it back to the house, and now we have a ball game.
Didiano on to attempt an extra point that is up and was sailing to the right, but does squeak through that right upright, and the scoreboard reads Woodland Hills 14, Bethel Park 7. And while Woodland Hills looked like they had this one in check in the early goings, the Blackhawks are back with the momentum. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Put Bethel Park on the scoreboard, and Woodland Hills is up 14-7 as we will see this kickoff picked up at the 4-yard line by Lafayette Pitts. He'll run straight up the middle, up to the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines. And I'll tell you what, Matt Kirk, the Wolverines were cruising there in the first quarter, and all of a sudden things have shifted after that pick 6 for Bliss.
They were, and surprising that Woodland Hills came out and threw the ball on 4th down after, 13 of the first 14 Wolverine offensive plays were rushing attempts, and Wolverines try and switch it up and throw on 1st down, and Bliss, the pick 6, it goes 30 yards. So with 5 seconds left, it's going to be the last play of the first quarter. Woodland Hills holding a 14-7 lead.
Yezevich is under center. Hard count. Handoff. It's Tompkins as he'll pick up modest yardage, a 4-yard gain, and that will be the last play of the first quarter. Woodland Hills up 14-7. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Again, 2nd and 6 for the Wolverines. Ball at their own 24-yard line.
Time to refocus if you're Woodland Hills. Forget about the fact you've had a couple of calls that went against you. Refocus on the fact that you're still winning. In your last scoring drive, you ran the ball down Bethel Park's, basically all the way down Bethel Park's throat. So refocus for Woodland Hills. You have a 7-point lead, and, play on.
We have a scoring update from Fox Chapel High School. North Hills has scored their first touchdown of the football game, and the scoreboard now reads at Fox Chapel 21-10. Gateway leading the North Hills Indians, or correction, 28-10. Gateway leading Fox Chapel. So things looking good for the Gateway Gators. Things were looking very good for our Woodland Hills Wolverines a few moments ago, but things have gotten a little hairy after that pick 6 from Matthew Bliss, but the Wolverines now need to bear down, focus offensively, and try to sustain a long drive here for another Wolverine score as Woodland Hills up 14-7. Handoff Timbers, cuts back, finds some room momentarily, and then is brought down after a 4-yard gain up to the 28-yard line. So the Wolverines now face 3rd down and 2 from their own 28.
And you see the Wolverines still running the ball with success, and it sets you up nicely. 3rd and 2. Woodland Hills leading 14-7 right now and have kept the ball on the ground. We'll see what the Brain Trust dials up on 3rd down. This is a big, important play, especially a big 3rd down. Bethel Park, a little bit of Uncle Mo on their side after their pick 6, and what was a 14-point Woodland Hills lead, cutting that in half. So big play right here on 3rd down.
High backfield as Yezevich steps under center. Counter handoff. Timbers, 1st down yardage and more as he crosses the 30, and is finally brought down at the 34-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and Woodland Hills on the ground already has over 130 yards on the ground.
And you can see Dom Timbers, his modus operandi for tonight doesn't look like, he's trying to hit a home run on every run. He's taking what the defense gives him and, following his lead blockers. And, the home run, if he follows all his cuts and reads and vision, trusts his vision, the long runs will eventually come. But Dom's doing a good job just taking what the defense gives him.
Line backfield again behind Yezovic. Wolverines in a double tight end set. Handoff goes to Timbers, and he's met as he gets to the line of scrimmage at the 36-yard line, where he will fall forward for that 2-yard gain from the 34 to the 36. 2nd down and 8 for the Wolverines.
And Timbers came into the game with 1,266 rushing yards, 22 TDs. He's got 2 already tonight, and long run of 71 yards this season. The future Syracuse Orange, quite a tailback for Woodland Hills, and you know, it's easy to see why the Wolverines rely on him so heavily. He's the horse.
Thus far, Timbers with 72 yards, 2 TDs, and a fumble. Handoff to Lafayette Pitts this time, and Pitts drives his way forward to the 41-yard line, where it'll be a 5-yard gain for Woodland Hills. And that brings up 3rd down and 3 for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Timbers is the horse, but Woodland Hills has so many other options. Lafayette Pitts, you know, more than reliable as a backup. He'll get some touches, and we've seen what Cam Tompkins can do when he touches the football. And that time you see Mike Lee, 21. Mike Lee's going to Purdue. Mike Lee is an athletic tight end, but he is a monster blocking through a good block that time.
High backfield for Woodland Hills as Polk motions from left to right. The pitch to Pitts. He's got some room. Here comes Lafayette Pitts. 50, 40, one man to beat, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown Lafayette Pitts. Call that one back, folks. It is a 60-yard touchdown run for Lafayette Pitts.
Yeah, a little hiccup in there, Adam, but the Wolverines are not deterred, and they stayed focused. And like I said, there's more than just Dom Timbers on this team. Lafayette Pitts, you know, he's a lethal weapon there, and got a nice running late. It was just that toss right. Once again, Wolverine power football, and the toss right, a nice little crease, a nice lane for Pitts to run through. Showed you that track star speed, and Lafayette Pitts takes it to the distance. Lafayette Pitts, number 10. 10th touchdown on the season for number 23.
So the Wolverines have snatched momentum back from the Blackhawks. And Sam Schifo's extra point is up, and that extra point is good. And the Wolverines stretch the lead 21-0 over the Bethel Park Blackhawks. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Lafayette Pitts, a 60-yard touchdown run for Lafayette Pitts. LP, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, 10th overall. Sam Schifo provides the single. Wolverines right back at you, 21-7, and Wolverines popping off some big plays tonight, AG.
That they are, and some of them have been called back, but not that 60-yard run by Lafayette Pitts, who came in for Dom Timbers to give Timbers a breather.
Yeah, give that offensive line credit, because Pitt's speed made the play happen, but he wouldn't have any crease. He had a nice running lane, and a right tackle over there was Kennedy Gordon, number 76, among others. So give the O-line, the big boys, they deserve the credit for giving Pitts that crease, and then Pitts provides the speed, the scoring punch, and the 6.
Schifo boot this one to the 10-yard line, where Kwiatkowski will be on the return for the Blackhawks. Kwiatkowski finds a crease. He'll be forced out of bounds by guess who? Quentin Pitts. Pitts makes every special teams tackle for the Wolverines.
Really, and it's not an exaggeration. And Quentin Pitts gets a lot of opportunities to make plays on the kickoff team because the Wolverines score so many points, averaging 31 points per game. So we know Pitts going to get opportunities. And that was a nice collision on the far sidelines in front of that Blackhawk bench there between Pitts, number 9, and Kwiatkowski. That was a nice collision there as both teams, that was a stalemate, we'll say. Pitts forced them out of bounds, so stalemate though.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for Bethel Park, by far their best starting field position at their own 43-yard line. Bethel Park has yet to have an offensive play inside of Woodland Hills territory, and we've played a quarter and 3 minutes. Play action. Bliss is back to pass, now reverses his field, looking to throw to that far side where it's caught by Bray Ford, and I'm not quite sure that he had caught that football before going out of bounds, but the officials say that it will be a catch for an 11-yard gain into Wolverine territory at the 46.
Yeah, we know Bethel Park likes that play action pass, and they squirted Bray Ford out of the backfield. Ford actually is the leading receiver in terms of catches. That's his 16th catch on the season as a running back. Got behind Juan Price that time, and I don't know how Adam Guskey, how he got those toes. He only needs to get one. I don't even know how he got the one in there, but nevertheless, Blackhawks, first down.
That was the first pass completion thus far for Bethel Park. Hard count for Bliss, and he'll hand it off up the middle for the fullback, Pratt. And Pratt finds very little room as he crosses the 45 to the 44-yard line before he's driven back by a gang of black jerseys, including Alfonso Strozier. The Woodland Hills junior defensive lineman, gain of 2 for Pratt. And the Wolverines have now forced Bethel Park into a 2nd and long, 2nd and 8 from the Woodland Hills 44.
Yeah, and your best bet when you're going against, as an offense, going against this Woodland Hills D is maybe, what Bethel Park did is have your defense score you some points because, offense have found the road tough to hoe against this Woodland Hills defense. So right now, Woodland Hills trying to protect a 21-7 lead with 8:27 remaining here, second quarter.
Double tight end set play action. Bliss rolling, now throwing. He has a man wide open across the middle, and finding some room across that middle was Anthony Frangione. And Frangione finally brought down at the 16-yard line. A big pickup there for the Blackhawks down inside the Woodland Hills red zone to the 17.
Yeah, we saw a little bit of a different look, 1 or 2 plays with the Wildcat for Bethel Park, but they're not going to get out of character just because they're trailing, by double digits. And Bliss, that's one of the things the receivers had success against the Woodland Hills defense, running in that secondary against the zone, and Bliss did a good job hanging in the pocket and finding his receiver for a nice gain.
27-yard gain on that play as the handoff will go to Bray Ford as he dances, finds a crease, and is finally brought down by Devlin McBride after what appears to be at least a 9-yard gain inside of the Woodland Hills 10 to the 8-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Yeah, Bethel Park, you mentioned it, Adam, their best starting field position, and they've taken advantage so far, starting at the 43 and the big plat. This is play number 5 coming up. 2 runs, 2 passes. It was the big pass that has them in the Woodland Hills red zone.
Bliss under center, hands off to the fullback, and he may have lost a hair on that play. As it appeared, the handoff went to Luke Olson, lined up at fullback. And it was Olson, the ball carrier for Bethel Park, and they do move that football back a few inches, and that brings up 3rd and a much longer one than it was a moment ago. Absolutely,
and Wolverine, the defense is good, but it's even better once the opponent gets inside the red zone. And Woodland Hills, their defense, if you're going to score against Woodland Hills defense, you're going to have to earn it. They're not going to give you anything easy, so Bethel Park's going to have to earn these points if they're able to get them.
Motion man for the Blackhawks. Bray Ford has the first down for the Blackhawks. Still on his feet as he drags Wolverines inside of the 5. Devlin McBride on the tackle, but it'll be 1st and goal for Bethel Park at the Woodland Hills 3-yard line. So the Blackhawks threatening now deep inside of Wolverine territory.
Yeah, and Bray Ford's not the biggest back, 5'10", 182, decent size, but really a good combination. He can run with power, and he can also hit the home run for you. And right now, Bray Ford just lowering that shoulder a little bit and powering through, and he got a first down for his team.
Power eye backfield behind Bliss. Ford is the tailback. And the handoff will go to Ford. The Wolverines blitz. Ford gets past the first wave, and Bray Ford finds a crease, and into the end zone he goes. And that is the first touchdown the Woodland Hills first-team defense has given up here in the WPIAL playoffs.
And it's the 2nd rushing touchdown they've given up all season, and Bray Ford has both of those rushing touchdowns against the stout Wolverine defense. So at Bethel Park, the champions aren't going to die that easy, and they've shown a lot of moxie here and a good drive to get back in this one.
As we take a look on the television side, the replay, Ford just snuck past a blitzing Juan Price. Had Price made the collision, and there wouldn't have been a touchdown on that play. Well, the scoreboard reads 21-14. Woodland Hills with the lead. 6:13 to play in the first quarter. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
Hawks parlayed that good field position you mentioned, Adam. They marched at 57 yards. It only took them 7 plays, and good mixture there. And Bray Ford with some power running near the goal line and just breaking through the plane. And 21-14 is your score as advertised between Woodland Hills and Bethel Park. Woodland Hills set to receive this kickoff.
Didiano on to kick this one off for the Blackhawks, and this will be a short kick to the far sideline where it'll be returned by Lafayette Pitts trying to run across the grain. That is Dom Timbers for the Blackhawks, and he will be brought down at the 25-yard line. Maybe a yard loss on that return, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines at their own 25.
And that was good speed showing because Dom Timbers came up, right near the Bethel Park sideline to field that short kick and then try to break it all the way to the far side. And 27, Nick Kwiatkowski there did a good job staying low and tracking down Timbers. So modest field position for Woodland Hills. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 25, leading by 7 with 6:07 left second quarter.
Timbers the tailback for the Wolverines in the I backfield. Gezevich under center, handoff up the middle. Tompkins bounces off one man, spins past another, through a pair of tacklers, and he's still on his feet. Here comes Cameron Tompkins, rumbling. Can he beat Bray Ford? He cuts around him. Cameron Tompkins still on his feet. He has Joe Lofton with a block. And Cameron Tompkins dives into the end zone for a Woodland Hills touchdown. The official's going to say he's down at the 1, but Cam Tompkins runs it 74.5 yards all the way down to the half-yard line where it'll be 1st and goal for the Wolverines.
We've seen that where Cam will get that quick hitter, and Adam, he sort of hides around and he'll bounce around there at the line of scrimmage and bounce it out wide and see a lot of green in front of him. And that time, Cam not breakaway speed for a fullback, but pretty good speed. And Joe Lofton was really an escort here. Big number 89 hustling down the field. And Joe Lofton did everything he could. Also, J-Ron Polk there giving him some help. We see Lofton did everything he could. Shoved Bray Ford, got him out of the way, and then just ran into Tompkins there. They just crossed up. A Lofton hustling. Wolverines hustling at him. Long runs tonight. Explosive plays. You said he was in. You think he's in?
I think he was in. Caprera the fullback, the tailback is Timbers. The handoff to Timbers, and into the end zone he will go unscathed for his second 1-yard touchdown run of the football game, and Woodland Hills extends their lead to 27-14. And again, another touchdown that you can credit to Cam Tompkins, even though he doesn't get the points.
Through that, Adam Gusky and Wolverines breaking out the explosive plays. And like I said, Cameron Tompkins had a new, his big plays have come like that where he gets the quick hitter and sort of bounces off either one of his own linemen or a Bethel Park defender, bounces it outside and then just sees green ahead of him. And Woodland Hills doing the job tonight, running all over this Bethel Park defense.
Schifo on to attempt the extra point, and that kick is up, and that kick is good, and the sophomore leg of Sam Schifo stretches the Woodland Hills lead to 28-14. The Wolverines doubling up the Bethel Park Blackhawks with 5:43 to play here in the second quarter. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. The Wolverines have taken the lead 28-14 after a Sam Schifo extra point.
Wolverines may have 2 running backs with 100 yards in this game, but Wolverines quick drive, only 2 plays, 75 yards. They march at Dom Timbers. 3rd touchdown of the night, 25th for the season, 35th in his 2-year Woodland Hills Wolverine career. Sam Schifo, once again, that right leg's going to get tired, but I'm sure he doesn't mind. 28-14 after the extra point. Woodland Hills to kick off.
And a squibbing kickoff will be returned by Kwiatkowski from his own 20, and he will be spun down by Davon Dixon after just a 10-yard return to the 30, and finally brought down at the 32-yard line where it'll be 1st and 10 for Bethel Park.
So the question, if you're Bethel Park, like I said, it's unlike Jeff Matheny and the Blackhawks to really, get out of character. And despite the fact that they're trailing by 14 points, they're still going to try and do what they do on offense, which is, run the ball and get some passes through the play-action passing game. But it's tough for Woodland Hills to respect that running game, respect that play action. If Woodland Hills has done a pretty good job, stopping the run. So we'll see what direction Bethel wants to go in.
Woodland Hills stacking the front. Bray Ford the lone setback, and Jeff Matheny calling a timeout. With the scoreboard reading 28-14, Woodland Hills leading Bethel Park here in the WPIAL semifinals. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
38 for Cam.
Yes.
And he came into the game with 380, so Cam, just unbelievable job. Wolverines running the football. Like I said, I didn't think it would be this easy, but Wolverines came to play.
Offset I backfield as Bliss is under center. Hands off Ford, bounces off one tackler, and is brought down after a 2-yard gain up to the 34-yard line. So Bray Ford, who has the lone offensive touchdown for the Blackhawks, picks up 2 yards there. He now has 28 yards on the ground, and if you're a Woodland Hills fan, you may be a little concerned with what we see along the near sideline as Cameron Tompkins has an ice bag on his left shoulder being attended to by Woodland Hills head trainer Denny D'Amico, as well as physical therapist Joe Schaffo.
And obviously, Adam, that shoulder exposed because he really, dove out, outstretched to try and get that touchdown. So, the shoulder vulnerable in that situation.
Back to pass is Bliss, and he will be hit as he throws the football. The pass intended for Patrick O'Brien along the far sideline. Or correction, the pass intended for Barofio is incomplete. And I'll tell you what, man, Bliss paid the price as he got a mug full of Mike Caprera, the Woodland Hills linebacker.
Yeah, Caprera, he's just a stud as a sophomore, and Woodland Hills likes to stun. They use that blitz up the middle, and that time, teeing off was Caprera did a good job, blitzing, but also getting his hands up and really just, disrupting Matthew Bliss, disrupting the timing on that pass.
Again, a one-back set for the Blackhawks. 3 receivers to the near side right, 1 up top to the far boundary left, 3rd and 8 for the Blackhawks. As Bliss is back to pass, he's going to hit a screen pass, a slip screen to the far sideline for Bray Ford, who is off to the races and will finally be brought down out of bounds at the 23-yard line by David McClendon, who saved a touchdown for Woodland Hills. A big pickup there.
And cannot believe that Bliss got this play off. You see the unconventional play action as he was rolling back, and he had his back turned to the would-be Woodland Hills rush, and a couple of Wolverines hit him there. But great, gutsy call. That was 3rd down, and they do a good job. Ford out of the backfield, Bliss hanging in the pocket. He took a shot, so Bethel Park down 14 points on 3rd and 8, and they come up with that play, and that's a good job to get back in scoring position.
Bliss is under center. 4:42 to play in the first half. Handoff Ford, trying to bounce it to the outside, still on his feet. And Bray Ford is finally forced out of bounds, but not before he picks up first down yardage to the 13-yard line. A 12-yard gain for Ford. And Ford now has 40 yards on the ground combined with 41 yards in the receiving category.
Yeah, and Ford showing you a nice blend of power and speed that time, utilizing that stiff arm, if you will. And Bray Ford, very impressive back, and he's already running better this game against Woodland Hills than he did in week 4.
4:35 left in the first half.
28-14, Woodland Hills with the advantage. Bethel Park 1st and 10 inside of the Woodland Hills red zone again. Ford on the carryover left end. And this time will be spun down after a modest gain. A pair of Wolverines coming up to make the tackle, including David McClendon and Ron Price. And a 3-yard gain for Bray Ford to the 10-yard line brings up 2nd down and 7 for the Blackhawks.
And Bethel Park, a very good red zone team because, like I mentioned, that they're so balanced that they have, options, and you can't really key on one thing if you're a defense. So offensively, Bethel Park keeps you guessing in the red zone with their balance and the good mobility of Matthew Bliss.
Bliss under center. Play action as he drops back to pass. Throws a touchdown pass for the Blackhawks. Wide open in the end zone was Drew Volbers. He found a spot between a Woodland Hills cornerback and a Woodland Hills safety in that zone. And Bethel Park keeps hanging around here in the first half as the Blackhawks strike the scoreboard again. 28-20 is the score right now.
Absolutely, and that was a perfect pass by Bliss there. Just a little, tight end out, and Bliss, the left-hander, put that right on the money. He's got good zip at that time. Showed you some touch to get that one to Volbers and get his team to within 7 after that extra point made.
Extra point up and in for Brendan Didiano, and the scoreboard now reads 28-21. Woodland Hills with the advantage over Bethel Park here in the WPIAL semifinals. You're listening to Bethel Park Blackhawks.
The second quarter's been explosive, Adam. Woodland Hills led 14-7 after 1. We've seen 4 touchdowns, two from each team, trading touchdowns in the second quarter as Dom Timbers, Adam, trying to house one himself. As it is, he'll get it up to around about the 37-yard line for Mr. Timbers there. So an explosive second quarter. Woodland Hills clinging right now to a 28-21 lead. 4:20 remains here in the first half. And to reset the situation for you, Woodland Hills, and they have the ball right now, leading by 7. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And Wolverines do have 2 timeouts left. Bethel Park also 2 timeouts left. So we'll see what the Woodland Hills Wolverines can do in the duration of the second quarter.
Woodland Hills with a 1-back set, and that lone setback is Lafayette Pitts, the explosive junior. Pitts will take the handoff, hesitates, finds a gap, and is up across the 35 to the 37-yard line following the block of Roy Grooms. The Woodland Hills 6th man along that offensive line, and he is just so versatile, can play center guard and tackle, and is currently in there as the left guard.
Yeah, you need a guy like Roy Grooms, versatile backup to play any spot on the line. And Wolverines have depth, whether it's offense, defense, in the backfield, Wolverines have a lot of depth, and Lafayette Pitts showing you picking up 5 on that first down run.
Yezevich is under center. Counter handoff goes to Pitts, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he'll just shove his way forward for 2 yards, which will bring up 3rd down and 3 for Woodland Hills at their own 43-yard line.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, and Woodland Hills right now leading by 7 points, and they want to continue to sustain drives, and they've been able to do that. Woodland Hills haven't had many sustained drives just because they've been popping off so many big plays right now. So Wolverines will take either right now a big play or just a 3-yard gain. 3rd and 3 at their own 43-yard line, just about approaching the 3-minute mark of the first half.
The lone setback again is Pitts. A pair of receivers, one split to either side. Stretch pitch to Pitts. He's going to cut it back, and he's going to be met in the backfield. A 1-yard loss for Lafayette Pitts, and it's decision time for George Novak and the Woodland Hills special teams unit, and it looks like they're going to bring on the punt team.
Yeah, and if you're asking where Timbers is, Timbers looks he's on the sidelines, doesn't appear to be hurt. Yeah, I think it's just a case of Lafayette Pitts getting a couple, Coach Novak wanting to get him some touches and keep Dom Timbers fresh.
And now we see Yezevich in to punt this one away, and this cold weather, as it is in the low 40s to upper 30s, may be affecting the Wolverines a bit here as Yezi will punt this one away. And a beautiful spiraling punt will be fair caught at the 25-yard line by Alex Barofia. What a nice punt there for the quarterback, John Yezevich. As Pitts came to the sideline is, again, this cold weather, Matt, may be affecting this Woodland Hills club. We've seen an injured shoulder to Cameron Tompkins. We've seen extended breaks for Dom Timbers thus far. Lafayette Pitts has been in, and he couldn't punt that one away.
Yeah, and Wolverines have put a couple on the ground, as well to add to that. And 33-yard punt there. Most importantly, all net of 33 yards. Yezevich does a good job, just putting some hang time on that punt. So Bethel, they'll have 75 yards to go. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 25, trailing by 7.
And the pitch is to Bray Ford, and it will be a tailback pass, and the pass is intended for Anthony Frangione on the coverage for Woodland Hills. Step for step was David McClendon, and that pass was off the mark. So that incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10 from the 25. As you hear the Woodland Hills fans on the near side start that defense cheer.
Absolutely, and Wolverines were not fooled. They did a good job. Davon Dixon, as well as safety help from David McClendon there. Woodland Hills not fooled, so good coaching there and, good listening by the players. They were ready, had that play scouted, and forced the incomplete pass.
High backfield, motion man from right to left in Volbers. Receivers split to either side, handoff Ford. He'll be met in the backfield by a blitzing Mike Caprera. And Mike Caprera says something to Bray Ford as he gets up after that 4-yard loss, bringing up 3rd down and 14.
He said, hi, I'm Michael Caprera. That's a TFL, a tackle for a loss, and I did it solo, did it by myself, did the middle linebacker. Caprera, number 30, good job there to stuff the run. So the Wolverine defense answering the bell right now. Had him a big 3rd down here as things have sort of settled down here as in the later stages of the second quarter. Minute 42 and ticking here in the second quarter. A big 3rd down, 3rd and 14 for Bethel Park.
Shotgun formation, Bliss with a sidecar to his right in Pratt. Twins split to either sideline. Bliss is back, he's pressured, dumps it down underneath to Pratt. Pratt will be met at the line of scrimmage, or correction, at the original line of scrimmage at the 25. He spins his way forward and is brought down at the 30-yard line. The Wolverines came on a zone blitz, and back in coverage was Julian Turner, who made the tackle for the Wolverines, and it is 4th down and 5 for the Blackhawks, and I think they're going to take as much time away as they can before taking a timeout and punting this to Woodland Hills.
You mentioned that zone blitz. Adam McBride did a good job. Didn't make the tackle, but kept outside containment, forced the runner inside where McBride got help for the tackle.
4th and 5, and they look to punt this one away. The punter is Vargo. The deep man is Pitts. And a timeout on the field this time by Woodland Hills. And
they want to be cautious, but we'll see. They want to get out of this hole too. We'll see what they do.
And Vargo punts this one away, and he will kick it to Lafayette Pitts, who will get away from the football, allow it to roll inside of the 20 to the 18 or maybe 17-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines at their own 18. Vargo with a very good punt, backing Woodland Hills up inside of their own 20.
Yeah, so here's where we at it. And in that situation, Pitts did the smart thing. If you can't see it, you know where, approximately where it is. So just get out of the way there and don't hurt your team. Pitts, a very smart player. So Bethel Park, a nice long punt to get themselves, deep out of their own territory. Flip the field position here and leave it to Woodland Hills with 47 seconds left in the first half, and I believe only one timeout to work with.
Timbers is the lone setback for the Wolverines. Receivers split to either side in a double tight end set. Hard count, handoff Timbers on the delay. He'll dance around, get his way across the 20 to the 24-yard line. A gain of 6 for Dom Timbers. Make it a gain of 5 to the 23, and the clock is continuing to roll in the later stages of the second quarter.
We're probably not going to see Woodland Hills take a chance here down the field. You have a 7-point lead, and no need to force it and make a mistake. So be happy with a 7-point lead and take that into the locker room.
Wind picking up on this chilly night in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Counter handoff, Timbers. He'll work his way across the 25-yard line, where it will be 3rd down and 3, and that will be the last play of the first half in a raucous first half. Woodland Hills heads into the locker room with the lead, 28-21. We'll see you in the second half on the television side. On the radio side, we'll be back with the D's Pizzeria halftime show. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
I think they can come up big with a turnover here and, really put this one away.
Welcome back, everybody tuned in on Woodland Hills High School Television, WHHS TV, as we come back for the second half. Woodland Hills up 28-21 over the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Bethel Park back deep to receive to begin this second half after the foot of Sam Schifo. This will be a low squibbing kick returned by Kwiatkowski at the 15-yard line. Kwiatkowski still on his feet at the 30, the 35, and finally spun down out of bounds along the near sideline at the 37-yard line. Again on the tackle, Quentin Pitts for Woodland Hills.
Absolutely, and I mentioned the keys to the second half. I think, the Wolverine defense could come up with a turnover here. That would go a long ways, but Wolverines, almost 300 yards rushing in that game, or in the first half, excuse me. If they continue to do that, they will win this ball game. But I look for the defense to maybe turn the Bethel Park offense over here in the second half and really, swing the pendulum of momentum towards the turquoise and black.
Bliss hands off. It's Bray Ford, and he'll carry it over right tackle, picking up 3 yards up to the 41-yard line on the tackle. Julian Turner for Woodland Hills. The Wolverines' two-way lineman, the junior. He'll be back again next season in the black and turquoise.
Absolutely. Turner, a fine ball player, fine junior for the Wolverines, and Turner and company doing a pretty good job against Bray Ford in the running game. Ford less than 4 yards per carry in the first half, but Ford hurt the Woodland Hills defense with a couple of pass receptions out of the backfield.
Ford with 2 catches for 41 yards thus far. Back to passes, Bliss, he's pressured, he's going to throw it. It is caught across the 45-yard line up to the 47-yard line by Luke Olson, just shy of the first down marker. The Bethel Park Blackhawks needed 8. They got 7, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 1 from the 47.
Yeah, you'll see the leading receivers on the Bethel Park team are really, Ford has the most catches, but they throw to the running backs and the fullbacks in this offense, and you do that, set you up nicely. 3rd and 1 for Bethel Park here at their own 47.
And a pitch to Ford, and he's got all kind of room in front of him. Brayford is off to the races. Can he get to the end zone as he's pushed to that far sideline and finally spun down out of bounds inside the 15 to the 13-yard line? Brayford took a pitch over right end, and there was nobody in front of him until Ron Devon spun him out of bounds at the 12. A huge pickup for the Blackhawks there from the 47 all the way down to the 12.
I think the Wolverine defenders were fooled there. They may have thought that pitch was going to Pratt, the fullback. Instead, they pitched it out to Ford, and so much for bottling up Ford. But once again, Woodland Hills, they didn't give up. They gave up the big play, but Bethel Park's still going to have to earn 6 points here as a flag is thrown on first down.
And it came from that far sideline. This may be some sort of illegal motion against the Blackhawks. And it is false start against Bethel Park, marching them back 5 from the 13 back to the 18-yard line. And this is a very important set of downs for Woodland Hills. They've allowed Bethel Park to progress the football inside of the Wolverines' red zone. Right now, they need to get a stop and keep this lead, keep some of the momentum on the near sideline.
Like I said, make them earn it, though. They hit you with a big play, but you still have a chance to keep them out of the end zone, maybe hold them to 3 or completely out of the end zone. We'll see if the Wolverine defense can step up.
And the handoff will go up the gut, straight up the middle. On the carry is Luke Olson for the Blackhawks, and give Olson a gain of 3 on the play, make it 4 to the 14, where it'll bring up second down and 11.
Yeah, because Woodland Hills, like I said, has a tendency to really tighten up the screws here in the red zone, and just because you hit them with a big run, it doesn't mean Wolverines can't fight back and keep you and stall you from scoring.
Offset eye backfield behind Bliss as he's back to pass, looking right, throwing right. It's a timing pattern, and it is going to be incomplete, intended for Kwiatkowski, but it looks like there is going to be a pass interference penalty against Ron Devon in the end zone as he was draped all over Kwiatkowski, the 6-foot junior receiver for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. So it's half the distance to the goal line and an automatic first down for Bethel Park. So they'll have the ball 1st and 10 from the Wolverines 7.
Yeah, Devon, he didn't know where the football was, had his back completely turned and tried to time it, tried to read the receiver's eyes there, but he even got there early. So Ron Devon, clear pass interference there.
And the handoff goes to Brayford, and he had a crease for a moment but was spun down once he got to the 5-yard line. Maybe they'll credit him to the 4 before he was brought down by Woodland Hills linebacker, I believe Mike Caprera, on the tackle.
Absolutely, Woodland Hills leading at 28-21. This is the first drive of the second half for the Blackhawks. This drive started at their own 38-yard line. The key play was a big 41-yard run by Brayford on this drive to get Bethel Park here in the red zone. Important down here, the 2nd and goal from the 4.
Brayford with 85 yards on the ground. Bethel Park sends men in motion. Pitch to Ford, and he is cut under by a blitzing Javante Pitts. Pitts, coming on the cornerback blitz, just knifed through the defensive front of the Bethel Park Blackhawks and made the stop 2 yards in the backfield, bringing up 3rd down and goal from the 6-yard line.
Yeah, Pitts went low and upended Brayford. Good job there. Good timing on that blitz, and it seemed like the Woodland Hills nearly took Brayford head over heels. Good job by Javante. Seemed like the Wolverine coaching staff almost knew that play was coming and blew that one up. So an important 3rd down here, but you got to think that this is to 4-down territory for BP.
Bliss is under center, split backs behind him, receivers split to either side. Bliss is back to pass, timing pattern to the far corner, and on the coverage is Ron Devon, and he has what appeared to be an interception, but he came down out of bounds with the football, and that will be an incomplete pass for Matthew Bliss, and it's decision time for Jeff Matheny and the Bethel Park coaching staff, and it looks like they are going to attempt a short field goal.
Yeah, surprised me a bit, but Ron Devon here, Adam, that time he saw the ball, had his back turned, good timing, and not only did he see the ball, but he snatched it, and a good job by Ron Devon to pick himself up and come up big for the Wolverines on 3rd down. We'll see if Bethel Park can connect with a field goal here.
23-yard attempt for Didiano. The snap is low, and a flag flies, and the kick was up, and it was no good. And this may be against the Wolverines. So the Wolverines were offsides, and that is going to move the ball 5 yards closer to the goal line. And now here comes the Bethel Park offense back onto the field.
Huge, Adam. Not half the distance. They were at the 6, so a 5-yard penalty moves it all the way up to the 1.
It is half the distance once they're inside the 10, so it moves the ball to the 2-yard line where it'll be 4th down and goal from the 3.
Ginormous play here in this ball game.
The crowd erupts on the near sideline. Offset I backfield. Bliss steps under center. Bliss looking for the option. He'll step towards the goal line, and he will be stopped. A goal line stand by Caden Mosley-Smith and Mike Caprera and the Woodland Hills defense. And Woodland Hills takes over 1st and 10 at their own 1-yard line. So while Bethel Park drives the ball deep into Woodland Hills territory to the 1, the Wolverines hold, and Woodland Hills is 99 yards from pay dirt.
Like I said, you can hit the Wolverine defense. You can hit them with a big play, but if you don't punch it in, it's going to be tough. And Woodland Hills did exactly that. They were tough in that red zone, and a good job. They wanted to run the option play there with Bliss, the option to either hand it off or take it himself, and he chose the cutback lane there. Wolverines slid down the line of scrimmage, did a good job stopping Matthew Bliss and that drive. So Wolverines take over, leading 28-21. This will be the first possession, the first drive for Woodland Hills here in the second half. They'll start it at the 1.
Handoff goes to Dom Timbers, and he will be spun down after a modest gain up to the 4-yard line, where it'll bring up 2nd down and 7. Exactly 8 minutes to play here in the 3rd quarter. And what was huge momentum for the Bethel Park Blackhawks has turned into huge momentum for the Wolverines after first forcing that turnover on downs after Bethel Park drove it all the way inside of the 5-yard line.
Yeah, you got to think the goal for Woodland Hills on this drive is to give yourself a little bit of breathing room here, rely on your defense, so maybe try and flip the field position after a gain of 3 for Timbers. 2nd and 7. Woodland Hills just trying to give themselves some breathing room and probably going to run the football a couple more times.
And the handoff again to Dom Timbers on the stretch play. He's still on his feet as he crosses the 5 close to the 10-yard line, where he'll be shoved back by a gang of white jerseys, but the linesman will credit Dom Timbers with the 10-yard line. So give Dom a gain of 6, and that brings up 3rd down and 1.
So the Wolverines have already accomplished, the short-term goal. They've gotten themselves 9 yards after taking over this drive at their own 1. Now can they extend? Can they sustain this drive? And as we see Richard Gray going to come in at him, so maybe we know Gray plays the fullback, that H-back spot, a devastating lead blocker. We'll see if the Wolverines maybe go with a little jumbo set here and try to pound this one down.
Looking in the huddle, we see Cameron Tompkins back on the field for Woodland Hills, the star fullback for Woodland Hills with over 130 yards thus far tonight. And the handoff to Timbers. 1st down yardage and more. Dom Timbers still on his feet across the 20 to the 25-yard line. They're going to say he's down at the 26. So Dom Timbers erupts for a 16-yard gain on 3rd and short.
Absolutely. And the offensive line, a hat on a hat there, and a nice little lane for Timbers to run through. And he exploded through that hole and nearly was tripped up. Nearly maintained his balance, put his offhand, that left hand down on the carpet, and if he would have maintained those legs, he would have taken that the distance. But a good job. Timbers, a big chunk. When the Wolverines only needed 1, they get the 1st down.
Timbers on that carry goes over the century mark, now has 105 yards on the ground. Handoff to Timbers, still on his feet as he comes to the near sideline, and he'll be spun down along the hash. On the tackle is Jared Pratt. So it's a 1-yard gain, bringing up 2nd down and 9 for the Blackhawks.
And this is a championship type drive if the Wolverines can pull it off with a defensive stand and then taking over at the 1, and basically just keeping the ball on the ground, haven't put it in the air this drive, and that's a championship type drive. Coach Nembeck relying on this offensive line.
On backfield behind Yezovic, 1 receiver to the far boundary left in Javante Pitts. Hard count by Yezovic, and some motion along the defensive front for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. And making his way into the neutral zone was Corey Spiegel of Bethel Park, and this should be encroachment. And it is offsides against Bethel Park. The official initially was looking to motion for false start, but it was an obvious offsides against Bethel Park. So this sets Woodland Hills up with a 2nd down and 4 from the 37-yard line.
Second time Yezi's gotten 5 free yards for his team via the hard count. So good job by Yezi. Good job by the O-line to stay disciplined.
That's 7 times in the past 2 football games. Yezevich again under center. Delay handoff goes to Timbers. He's met at the line of scrimmage. And the ball came loose, and Woodland Hills, I believe, did get on top of it. As the officials are saying that Woodland Hills did, as well as J-Ron Polk and Cameron Tompkins both signaling that way. So no gain on the play as Dom Timbers has put it on the ground for the second time tonight, but Woodland Hills has recovered both times.
Absolutely. It seems like Wolverines, you know, they've had their share of fumbles, but more times than not, 4 out of 5, they get them back. And same thing with Timbers. You mentioned two fumbles, but neither of them lost. So that no gain brings up a big 3rd and 4 here for Woodland Hills, leading by 7, 4:45 remaining, 3rd quarter.
And a timeout on the field, and I do believe this will be called by the Woodland Hills sideline. George Novak wants to talk things over with his black and turquoise offense. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
A good timeout there, and, you know, regroup and refocus on this important 3rd down.
So we are in the WPIAL semifinals. Woodland Hills with a 7-point lead in the waning moments of the 3rd quarter, 28-21, 4:44 to play. The Wolverines facing a 3rd and 4 from their own 32. Bethel Park shows blitz. Hard count by Yezi. Handoff Timbers. He'll run it straight up the middle. Not much room there. Maybe a gain of 2 for Dom Timbers up to the 34-yard line. And that will bring up 4th down and 2. So Woodland Hills, who had the ball inside of their own 1-yard line, drives it all the way out to the 34. And Bethel Park will get the ball back after threatening on their first offensive possession.
Yeah, didn't get points into Wolverines' offense, but like I said, they accomplished a goal there. They gave themselves some breathing room and you know, flipped field position, and Bethel brought 9 in the box that time to stop that Timbers run.
And we will see Lafayette Pitts run and boot this one away. The rugby-style punt will be fair caught by Kwiatkowski at the 28-yard line. So Pitts took about all he could before he had to make that decision of either punting it away or going for the fake. He took the option to punt it away smartly as he had some white jerseys coming towards him, kicked that one away, and backed Bethel Park inside of their own 30-yard line.
Absolutely, got a little momentum behind him and was able to get that boot off and, you know, get the Wolverines defense back out on the field, and a good job to flip the field position, because Woodland Hills right now, you know, after the punt, Bethel's going to take over at the 28-yard line. So right now, if you're a Wolverine fan, you're maybe looking for that turnover by this defense here and really, you know, give yourself some separation. As it is 28-21, Woodland Hills leading, 4:02 remaining, 3rd quarter.
Blackhawks with the ball at their own 28-yard line. Bliss is back to pass. Throws it to a wide-open receiver, and the ball was in and out of the hands of the wide-open Jarrett Pratt. But before you know it, Pratt had 3 defenders around him, and Darrell Smith made the contact, forcing Pratt to give up that football. And then it was nearly intercepted by David McClendon of the Wolverines. So that will bring up 2nd and 10 for the Blackhawks after the incomplete pass.
Wolverines brought some heat that time and forced Bliss to get rid of that ball. And Wolverines, McClendon nearly was going in the opposite direction, but nearly picked that one off. So an incomplete pass on 1st down. 2nd and 10, Bethel. Woodland Hills 28, Bethel Park 21.
Offset eye backfield, hard count for Bliss. The Wolverine defense is stout. The handoff to Ford, and he will find minimal yardage over left tackle. Lost the football after being brought down by Juan Price. But they say that Ford was down, and Ford gets up, and he's stretching out that left hamstring, Matt, as he is a little ginger on that left leg. And let's see if Bethel Park brings in a substitution for the stud running back.
Absolutely. They got Olson and Derek Ploppy, Kwiatkowski, and Jarrett Pratt's the fullback. But, you know, a nice stable of backs. As we see Bliss, no backs this time, empty set at him.
5 receivers, 3 to the right, 2 to the near side left. Woodland Hills shows blitz. And it's back to pass is Bliss. He's rolling left, throwing left, and that pass intended for Kwiatkowski, incomplete, brings up 4th down and 9.
Absolutely, defense bringing the pressure. That was Juan Price, number 5, and a good job to flush Matthew Bliss out of that pocket. And the wide receiver, I believe that was Ploppy, was open, but the throw errant and high. And intended receiver was actually Kwiatkowski, excuse me. So either way, incomplete pass. Wolverine defense does the job there. 3 and out. The Wolverine offense set to get the ball back.
Putting this one away, Vargo, and he has the punt blocked. The ball is loose. And the Bethel Park Blackhawks still tipping it around, and it will be first touch by the Blackhawks at the 31-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Woodland Hills. The punt blocked by Javante Pitts.
Absolutely, and I mentioned it, Adam, those Wolverines special teams have been coming on. Davon Dixon last week, we saw in the Penn Hills game, a blocked field goal and a blocked punt. And Javante Pitts, one of the Pitts boys, whether it's offense, defense, or special teams, those Pitts boys making plays everywhere. And Javante could have just made a play at him that propels this Wolverine team into the WPIAL championship. Huge block there.
3 minutes to play in the third quarter. Woodland Hills up by 7. Wolverines out of the huddle, 1st and 10 at the 32.
Capitalize on good starting field position here. If you're Woodland Hills, a short field to work with, you got to capitalize.
First time either team has taken over inside of their opponent's territory. Handoff Timbers trying to stretch it left. Finds some room as he squeaks through a hole. Now met by a gang of white jerseys up to the 25-yard line before he's pushed back, but it will be a 7-yard gain for Dom Timbers, who continues to rumble. Dom Timbers now with 113 yards on the ground and 3 TDs tonight.
Timbers showing you why he's a top-notch back here in Quad A, and really that was Cameron Tompkins with a nice block here on the linebacker just to give Timbers enough, and he's able to shed a tackler and get about 7. Get almost 7 yards on that play. So good job. Wolverines win the battle on first down and looking to go ahead 2 scores. Leading by 7 right now with 2:20 remaining in the third quarter.
High backfield behind John Yezevich. Wolverines in a double tight end set. Pitts is the motion man. Handoff goes to Dom Timbers, still on his feet inside of the 25 before he's strung out and brought down. And the officials say it will be no gain for Dom, or maybe a 1-yard gain for Dom Timbers from the 26 to the 25. So Timbers now gives the Wolverines a 3rd down and 3 after that 1-yard pickup.
And you see who, like I said, ride your horse here. Wolverines have run 8 plays from the 8 plays offensively here in the second half. All have been runs, and they've all gone to Timbers. So, you know, ride the stud that got you here. And this is a big 4th down as we approach the minute 30 mark of the third quarter. Wolverines 3rd and 3 or 3rd and 4 almost. We're going to have a timeout.
And there's a timeout on the field, and we're going to take one too. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. High school, where Gateway now leads North Hills 28-20 in the other semifinal matchup. 3rd and 3 for the Wolverines. Motion man is Gray from right to left. The handoff goes to Timbers, bounces off of Kanan Mosley Smith. And Timbers follows KK for a Woodland Hills 1st down and more inside of Bethel Park's red zone to the 17-yard line.
Yeah, there's no deception with Woodland Hills offense there, and you know they brought in Richard Gray, who plays the H-back, you know, so essentially they had Lofton, Mike Lee, and Richard Gray, essentially 3 tight ends there, the jumbo package. It's not about deception, it's about can you stop what we're going to do, and Bethel Park wasn't able to do that, so Coach Novak calls on the jumbo formation, and it's a good call. It gets the Wolverines a 1st down.
The only deception was that the Wolverines ran away from the motion. Hard count by Yezevich. Handoff Timbers, still on his feet inside of the 15. They're going to mark him down at the 15 as he had shoved forward momentarily before being pushed back by a few white jerseys. And Matt, right now it looks like Bethel Park is a victim of a lot of two-way players.
Absolutely.
As they've got a lot of hand on hips as we see Bethel Park sucking wind right now.
And we saw in the second quarter, Coach Novak put Lafayette Pitts in there, and only Pitts scored a touchdown, but I think, you know, he gave Timbers some much-needed rest, specifically for this situation, you know, late in the third quarter, fourth quarter. So I think that's definitely an issue right now. We'll see if the Wolverines can push around this tired Bethel Park defense.
Motion man is Polk from right to left. Hard count. Yezi with the handoff to Timbers. And Timbers will be undercut at around the 11-yard line, where it'll bring up 3rd down and 3 again for Woodland Hills.
Yeah, and the Wolverines started this drive after the block punt by Javante Pitts at the 32, and right now they're 1 of 1 on 3rd down conversions. And Adam, they're going to throw up the 4 fingers because it's about that time.
And that is the end of the third quarter. Woodland Hills and Bethel Park scoreless in the third, but the scoreboard reads your Wolverines 28, the Bethel Park Blackhawks 21. Back with the fourth quarter, you're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. 5.
Absolutely, and Wolverines have done nothing but run the ball. It's been nothing but runs to Dom Timbers, and we'll see if the Wolverines continue to ride Mr. Timbers here, facing a huge 3rd down.
3rd down and 3, the ball at the 11-yard line. Yezi's back to pass, rolling left, pumping, throwing, touchdown Woodland Hills. Mike Lee was wide open. Bethel Park did not expect a pass, and that's just what George Novak called up. A Yezi rolling left, finding the future Purdue Boilermaker for the Woodland Hills touchdown, and Woodland Hills is up 34-21 with a PAT up and coming.
Absolutely, you can't argue the play calling there for Coach Novak. Had that in the back of his mind, setting it up by continuing to pound the football. We know Wolverines loved the play pass, and that time it was a thing of beauty. Yezovic carrying out the play fake beautifully, and Mike Lee, the big athletic tight end. Mike Lee has
played just one play here in the fourth quarter, and Woodland Hills leads the Bethel Park Blackhawks 34-21 with this PAT from the sophomore foot. The long snapper Caprera, the holder Polk. The snap is true, the hold is down, that kick is up, and that kick is good for Sam Schifo, and Woodland Hills stretches the lead to 14 points, 35-21 with 11:54 to play here in the fourth quarter. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network.
They're leading by 14, 11:54 remaining in this contest.
Right now, looking back at this football game, while it may seem a bit innocuous, a stop on 4th and goal from the 3-yard line for the Wolverines may be the play of this football game as Woodland Hills forced Bethel Park to turn it over on downs.
Absolutely, the Wolverine defense has been, answering the bell all season long and stepping up when they need to the most. And right now, in the WPIAL semifinals, it's a good time to step up.
Schifo's kick will be returned by the Blackhawks from the 20-yard line. It is number 8, Frangione. Frangione still on his feet across the 30 to the 35 and finally spun down at the 38-yard line by Mike Caprera, who picks Frangione up, pats him on the backside, and sends him to the sideline. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks at their own 38.
And if you're Woodland Hills right now, defensively, you have a 14-point lead. And any points Bethel Park may get, you got to make them earn it here. You can't give up a big play, a quick strike and let Bethel right back in the ball game. You got to make them earn everything they get here. You're up 2 scores, so we'll see what Bethel does here offensively. 1st and 10 at their own 38.
And the Blackhawks are back to pass, and Kwiatkowski catches a screen pass along that far sideline. Bliss was nailed as he got rid of the football by Devlin McBride. Kwiatkowski had a lot of room in front of him before he was brought down by Juan Price, which turns out to be a fairly modest gain after all the room we saw for Kwiatkowski. Just an 8-yard pickup brings up 2nd down and 2 rather.
And we see teams against the Wolverine defense, they try and run these screens because they try to use the Woodland Hills defense aggressiveness against them. And normally a lot of the time they don't work, in that time a good solo tackle by Price.
And this time it's Kwiatkowski, the ball carrier for the Blackhawks, and he'll pick up 3 yards to the Bethel Park 49-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks. Just the 2nd carry of this game for Kwiatkowski. 2 carries, 3 yards.
Wolverines don't want to let their guard down just because Brayford isn't in the ball game. Bethel Park still has weapons. Kwiatkowski more than capable runner on the season.
Bliss is back to pass. Has some time. Throws it. And that pass is caught along the far sideline by Alex Barofio. On the coverage is Davon Dixon for the Wolverines.
Yeah, Barofio working one-on-one against Davon Dixon, and Barofio is one of the targets, came in the 2nd leading receiver for the Blackhawks, 14 catches, 217 yards. He also has 2 touchdowns on the season, shut out in the first half. So Barofio, his first catch of the ball game, gives the Bethel Park Blackhawks a 1st down. Now they're marching inside Woody High territory.
17-yard pickup on that play. And the handoff straight up the middle. The ball carrier is Jared Pratt. Clock winding down to 10 minutes and 40 seconds to go here. Lots of time for Bethel Park. Woodland Hills and Bethel Park ate up a lot of time in a scoreless 3rd quarter, moving the ball up and down the field. Woodland Hills stretches their lead back to 14, but they want to keep Bethel Park off of the scoreboard here as the Blackhawks are threatening 2nd down and 6 from the 31. Back to pass. Bliss is pressured. He's rolling, he's throwing, and that pass will be incomplete along that far sideline. It will be caught. Oh my goodness gracious, I really can't believe that Luke Olson caught that ball in bounds along that far boundary. A modest gain on the play of just 3 yards, but as we take this opportunity to look at the television replay, we saw Mike Caprera get held there. Should have been a flag, and then a pass which appeared to be caught out of bounds by Luke Olson, but credited for a 3-yard completion for the Blackhawks. Brings up 3rd down and 4.
That's what Bliss gives you, escapability, and take a play which looks like nothing and turn it into something.
Bliss throws, that pass dropped. Oh my goodness, wide open along that far sideline was number 11, Alex Barofio. But he couldn't hang on to that one, and this is an all-important 4th down for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. The ball inside of Woodland Hills territory at the 28.
And both of these teams all season long, especially in the first meeting, both teams really did damage on 3rd and 4th down. And so earlier in the 3rd quarter, a big Bethel Park run on 3rd down, but this time 4th down, 4th and 4 at the Woodland Hills 28. Biggest play of the ball game. Woodland Hills leading by 14.
Shotgun formation, sidecars to Bliss's either side. He's back to pass, throwing, and that pass will be... Make a decision, officials. The officials didn't make a call. They just placed the ball. They didn't say complete, they didn't say incomplete, they just placed the ball.
Certainly did.
So it's a 1st down for Bethel Park, but not quite sure that it was complete.
And you saw the Wolverine defenders waving their hands, the incomplete pass, and
a 5-yard pickup on the play, incidentally.
Tough to tell on the replay, but nonetheless.
Bliss is back to pass again. Caprera is held, no flag thrown, and the pass is complete for the Bethel Park Blackhawks to the 10-yard line. How is there no holding call in the backfield? That's the 3rd play in a row where Mike Caprera was grabbed from behind. The referee is blind.
Absolutely, and Caprera running free, and you can't just grab him.
Here we go. Here's the TV replay. Did you see Mike Caprera's jersey get grabbed by Kwiatkowski?
You saw the jersey get grabbed there.
Wow.
And it's not an exaggeration. That's a couple plays in a row there where they've grabbed, and a good job by the receiver coming back to get that ball.
Handoff, Kwiatkowski up the middle. Nothing doing there as he's brought down after a 1-yard gain to the 7-yard line. 2nd and goal for Bethel Park. As things start to settle down here. Goodness gracious, man, I just cannot believe that 3 plays in a row, Mike Caprera was held in the backfield and no flags were thrown.
Yeah, and it seems like all the calls are going against Woodland Hills tonight, but nonetheless, Woodland Hills up by 14, but there's been some obvious blown calls, bottom line.
Motion man left to right for Bethel Park in a double tight end set. Play action Bliss. He's back to pass. He's throwing left, and he will complete a pass, and getting hit very hard there was the receiver for the Blackhawks, number 4, Drew Volbers. But Kanan Mosley-Smith is going to be charged for a roughing the quarterback penalty. Are you kidding me? Let's take a look here.
That was Price who stuck Volbers.
Yeah, Price put the lick on Luke Olson.
On Olson.
But as we look at the TV replay, Kanan Mosley-Smith was about 2 steps away from Bliss before the contact was made, so that was a legitimate foul, but there should have been 3 legitimate fouls about 4 plays ago that didn't go against the Blackhawks. So Bethel Park has 1st and goal here at the 2-yard line. Bliss is under center. Handoff to Bray Ford. He slammed back 2 yards deep in the backfield. The Wolverines are all over him. Devlin McBride and Mike Caprera make the tackle alongside Julian Turner.
Play number 12 on this drive, and if the Wolverines can stop him here, they're almost assured a victory here. Play number 12 this drive for Bethel Park started at the 38-yard line, and Woodland Hills going to have to be stingy here in the red zone, as they have been all season, the Wolverines, and the crowd getting fired up. The students here, great atmosphere at West Mifflin Area High School. Wolverines trying to keep Bethel Park out of the end zone here.
High backfield. Back to pass is Bliss. He's pressured. The pass is intercepted by the Woodland Hills defensive back, David McClendon. He just steps in front of Drew Volbers, and David McClendon may have sent Woodland Hills to the WPIAL championship game. The Wolverines brought the house. There was holding all over the place. The flag wasn't thrown, but McClendon didn't care because he stepped up there and made a big play for Woodland Hills.
Absolutely, Adam. That's the turnover this defense I've been asking for in this whole second half, and McClendon really broke on that ball. Didn't have a lot of zip on it. Bliss has a pretty good arm, but McClendon all over the receiver there. Not only great coverage, but an excellent break on the ball by number 33, David McClendon. The biggest play of the season defensively, and that could have punched the ticket for the Wolverines to Heinz Field here. 7:28 remaining, Woodland Hills leading 35-21. They take over 1st and 10 at their own 3.
And the handoff goes to Dom Timbers, who was met at the line of scrimmage and then shoved back. Timbers may be credited with a yard gain by the spot we see from the line judge along that far sideline. Woodland Hills up 35-21 with just over 7 minutes to play in regulation.
If you're Woodland Hills, you think you value the football right now, and you'd like to get some breathing room here on this drive, but most importantly, you want to hold on to that football, 2 hands. If you get a first down, that's just a bonus here, but a couple of first downs could end this one.
That it could. 2nd and 9 for the Wolverines. The ball at the 5-yard line. High backfield behind John Yezevich. Polk, the motion man from left to right. Counter handoff. No, play action. Yezi's rolling, and he's going to toss it out of bounds to the near sideline. And we see some Blackhawk fans along the far sideline starting to leave West Mifflin Titan Stadium.
And a surprising call there, a little play pass on a rollout by Yezevich, and a smart job by the senior quarterback there to dump it and throw it towards the line of scrimmage. So no penalty. Wolverines take a chance there on 2nd down. And no time expires there. 6:39 remaining. Woodland Hills 35, Bethel Park 21. The winner of this game goes to the WPIAL Championship to face either North Hills or Gateway.
Time winding down on the play clock here is J-Ron Polk. Fisk gets the play in, and a delay of game penalty against Woodland Hills. It took Coach George Novak an awful long time to make a decision on that play call. And Matt, when you're backed up at your own 5-yard line, a 5-yard penalty will only be half the distance to the goal line back to the 2.5. So it doesn't cost Woodland Hills a whole heck of a lot. But it does make it a little bit tougher. It goes from 3rd and 9 to 3rd and about 12.
Yeah, the against the grain play calling where the Wolverines, in a situation 99% of the time they would run, they passed, and a little bit off kilter here, and another penalty ensues.
Motion man, Polk from right to left. End around. No, it's going to be Yezi on the QB keeper. Yezevich across the 5, still on his feet, and pulled out of bounds at the 10-yard line. And there could have been a face mask penalty there, as the fans along this near sideline were calling for it, and Yezi out of bounds stops the clock, and that may be a blessing for Bethel Park. So the winner of this football game will take on the Gateway Gators, as Gateway poured it on late and has won this their WPIAL semifinal 42-20. Lafayette Pitts has his punt blocked. Get out of the back of the end zone. And it will be a touchdown. No way, that's a safety. That ball was out of the back of the end zone.
We're going to have to talk about that, Adam.
Oh, no, the referee is the only one there, and he said that the blocked punt was picked up in the end zone by Bethel Park, and all of a sudden, what looked like a game over is now going to be a very close football game, as that punt by Pitts was blocked, and it went out of the back of the end zone. Bethel Park didn't gain possession of the ball until it was out of the back of the end zone. How was it a touchdown? It should be a safety. That should be 2 points, not 6. Possibly 7 with this extra point. Boy, I'll tell you what, these officials certainly won't be getting a good grade by the review squad. And the point after touchdown is up and in for number 90, Didiano, and we're going to take a break here. We got to reset. 35-28, Woodland Hills leads Bethel Park. The Blackhawks. Here we go. Let's look on the television replay.
We got the super slow-mo as well.
And that player for the Blackhawks did not gain possession of the football until he was across the end line. That should be a safety, not a touchdown. Got to give credit to our TV staff upstairs.
Excellent.
Right on the spot with that one. And I'll tell you what, Matt, as I said before the break, this officiating crew is not going to grade out well. Don't expect to see them in a WPIAL championship game anytime soon.
Yeah, and you can't just jump on that. You have to possess it. And
right, exactly. He was sliding out of bounds without full possession of the football.
Just a mind-boggling call there, and it started with Woodland Hills. They started the drive at their own 3, and they passed on 2nd down, and then a penalty, and that really jammed Woodland Hills up the punt, as Bethel Park are going to make a mistake here on the kickoff.
They'll kick the ball out of bounds, trying to keep it away from the dangerous Wolverine return men. It went out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Will Woodland Hills take the ball at their own 35? It does appear that way. And Matt, as we talk about head scratchers as far as calls go by the Stripes, you have to think about the head scratching calls that we saw from Woodland Hills head coach George Novak. A pass from your own end zone, and
second and 9
on 2nd and 9, and then a quarterback sweep.
After a delay penalty,
right.
a delay.
A quarterback sweep by, Yezevich is a heck of an athlete, but he's certainly not Vondre Griffin or, Steve Breston.
Yeah, and Wolverines really just, botched that possession, if you will. It didn't get any room for themselves and ended up having their punt block, but, pick themselves back up right here. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 35.
Handoff, Timbers. They'll run into a gang of white jerseys, but still pick up close to 5 yards. He'll be brought down as he crosses the 39, close to the 40-yard line. So that gives Dom Timbers 133 yards.
And the onus is going to be on Timbers here and the offensive line, because Coach Novak is going to rely heavily on them. And with a 7-point lead right now, clock is ticking, 5:58 and ticking. Wolverines leading by 7, so they're going to play some power football.
Again, an eye backfield behind Yezi. Double tight end set. Javante Pitts is the motion man from left to right. Handoff up the middle. It's Tompkins. Nothing doing for Cam Tompkins, but he's still on his feet, trying to elude some tacklers. And as Cam Tompkins would have been credited with no gain, but as he broke free, that gives him a whole new forward progress, and that'll back Woodland Hills up 4 yards back to the original line of scrimmage where it's 3rd down and 10.
So on his own volition, Tompkins backs up there and really costs himself 4 yards. And Wolverines back to where they started this drive from, and now you see the Bethel Park fans getting into it. 3rd down here, 5:09. Woodland Hills leading, clinging to a 7-point lead as we approach the 5-minute mark.
Yes, he's under center with 1 second on the play clock. The pass intended for Shaquem Alonso is incomplete. And Woodland Hills is going to be forced to punt. What kind of play call was that?
Yeah, and they try and throw it up to Shaquem Alonso.
Woodland Hills is absolutely given all the momentum to Bethel Park right now as the Blackhawks are down by 7 with just under 5 minutes to play. I'm flabbergasted by what has transpired over the past 90-plus seconds. Yezi to punt this one away for the Wolverines. The snap is true, and Yezevich will punt this one away. It'll spiral. Take a bounce in favor of the Wolverines inside of the 25, still rolling down to the 20-yard line where it will die. And a very nice punt for Woodland Hills QB John Yezevich bails the Wolverines out after 2 straight head scratches on the offensive play calling.
That's, to take a chance there, but the previous possession was definitely botched.
Didn't look like anybody was aware of the play, though. And the handoff straight up the middle. And it's Pratt on the carry for the Blackhawks. 6-yard gain. No Pratt on the carry for the Blackhawks. 3 carries, 8 yards. Clock is ticking. Bethel Park with all of their timeouts remaining, I do believe.
I believe you're right, and one thing Coach Novak can rely on is this defense going to be asked one more time. We thought, they had it wrapped up with a big turnover earlier, but right now they need to step up once again.
Bliss under center with an eye backfield, sends a man in motion from right to left. Ford back in there as the tailback. Ford on the carry, tries to bounce it outside, and he's met at the line of scrimmage by Caprera and then slammed back by Devlin McBride after a gain of about 3 yards. And Ford is down again with that hamstring. And the officials blow the whistle for a injury timeout, from what I do believe. Now they're going to wind it again. That's puzzling. If you stop the clock, the player who was shaken up has to go out, and now he does. Forward to the sideline, and Bethel Park brings in a couple of players.
Going to bring up a huge situation there as Ford was high load. 3rd and 1 here.
3-yard gain for Bray Ford on that last carry, has 85 yards on the ground. Kwiatkowski on the carry, met in the backfield, but still squeaks through 2 Woodland Hills tacklers for a Bethel Park first down.
Great second effort. It looks like Mosley Smith had him in the backfield.
And then Alfonso Strozier had him 1 yard deep in the backfield. And somehow Kwiatkowski escaped and picked up the first down to the 31-yard line.
A huge second effort there by Kwiatkowski. And KK and then Strozier right at him, had him, and maybe try and swipe that ball, and Kwiatkowski just enough to get that first down.
3 receivers to the near side right for the Blackhawks, 1 up top to the far boundary left. Kwiatkowski the lone setback. Bliss is back to pass. He's pressured. He's going to be wrapped. He's going to be sacked. Caprera got there first. Strozier will be credited with the sack. A big loss on the play. Marching Bethel Park back from the 31 to the 26, a loss of 5.
And time again, we've seen in 2 games that Bliss is always able to elude that sack, but not that time. That was huge sack there by the tandem of Caprera and Strozier. Bliss not able to escape.
Timeout on the field, we'll take 1-2. You're listening to the Highway to Hines on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. And Bethel Park now has an opportunity with the ball inside of their own territory at the 27. It's right now 2nd and 14 for the Blackhawks. They motion out of an I backfield. Bliss is back to pass. Late pressure. He'll step up, and the pass is caught by Kwiatkowski. Somehow he got away from the coverage of Darrell Smith at the last second, and that is a first down for the Bethel Park Blackhawks up to the 47-yard line. A big pickup on that play for the Blackhawks of 20 yards.
And Darrell Smith had perfect coverage, and what messed him up there was the fact that the ball was underthrown, and Kwiatkowski did a good job coming back for the ball, and that's Darrell Smith, good coverage, but a good play by Bethel.
And that pass is incomplete as Bliss was back to pass, rolling to his left. The pass intended for Barofio is incomplete, and that brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Blackhawks. 2:26 to play here in the 4th quarter. Woodland Hills up 7.
And Woodland Hills opportunities to win this ball game throughout. It looked early in this game as if it'd be a blowout, and Woodland Hills once again earlier in this quarter looked like they had it won, but we got to rely on the defense right now one more time if you're a Woody High fan.
Shotgun formation, Bliss with sidecars to either side, 2 receivers to the near side right. The motion man, Kwiatkowski. He's back to pass, is Bliss. As all day, now the flags fly for holding. And the pass will be in and out of the hands of an intended receiver. And all day long, we've seen Bethel Park hold Woodland Hills defensive linemen and blitzing linebackers. And now we see an injured Wolverine along the far sideline. I believe that is Kanan Mosley Smith, the young man they call KK, the future Pitt Panther. And you can hear an applause that is part condescending and part appreciative by this Woodland Hills contingent along the near sideline, because there was a ton of holding throughout this football game.
Yeah, and Wolverines finally, it seems like they finally get a break.
They also look for their 5th WPIAL title a week from tonight if the Wolverines can hold this 7-point lead. Shotgun formation, Bliss is back, 4-man rush for the Wolverines. Bliss's pass is caught for a short gain up to the 44-yard line. Actually not a bad gain of 12 yards, but it's still an awfully long way from a first down, as it's now 3rd down and 14 yards after that big loss.
Yeah, Wolverines have made some mistakes here in putting this ball game away, but the defense can make it up, make it all good here. Bethel Park 4-down territory with 3rd and 13 right now, under 2 minutes remaining. Woodland Hills leading by 7.
Shotgun formation, Bliss is back, he's pressured, rolling left, he's going to throw it out there, and that pass is going to be in and out of the hands of Frangione. Anthony Frangione got a step on the Wolverine defensive back. I think it was Davon Dixon in coverage. Frangione couldn't pull it in, and it's 4th down and 13 for the Bethel Park Blackhawks. Make it 4th and 14 for the Blackhawks. The ball at their own 43-yard line. And this is it, Matt. This is the football game.
Absolutely. You don't have to
listen to me tell you, but you can hear the crowd right now. And that was a good throw by Bliss across his body to even give his receiver a chance. Woodland Hills defense, 1 down away, trying to kiss the baby and go to Heinz Field.
Everybody on their feet along the near sideline. Timeout called by Bethel Park. They want to talk things over with 1:38 to play, 4th and the 2009 season to go. You're listening to the Highway to Heinz on MSA Sports and the Woodland Hills Football Network. Everyone is on their feet as Bliss will set up in a shotgun formation, and now Woodland Hills defensive coordinator Bill Morton will take a timeout. So the drama continues to get a little thicker here. The Blackhawks from the sideline to the line of scrimmage in a shotgun formation. Bliss sends Ford in motion from right to left. Bliss is back to pass. He's pressured. He'll step up into the pocket, and Bliss will throw, and that pass will be caught for a first down by Kwiatkowski. And I'm not quite sure, was Bliss across the line of scrimmage? Probably not. That's a first down for the Bethel Park Blackhawks, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Bethel Park after that 14-yard pickup. How did Kwiatkowski catch that football?
Absolutely. McClendon was draped all over him, and that's one thing that Bliss's receivers have done a good job coming back for him and helping him out, and that extended this ball game for Bethel.
Back to pass again is Bliss, and he's going to be hit, and the ball goes sky high. Who has it? Will it be Bethel Park? Will it be the Wolverines? It's going to be a fumble, according to the referee, because he threw the beanbag. Is there a flag on the field, or was that just the beanbag that flew? I'm not quite sure.
Mysterious play there, Adam. I would have called it
an incomplete pass. I think
pass.
So. Well, what are we discussing here? Is it a fumble or is it an incomplete pass? If it's a fumble, it's a big play for Woodland Hills. The public address announcer said there was a flag. I didn't see one, and that was a fumble, Matt.
Arm going back, not
Bliss's
forward.
arm was not going forward when that ball was hit out of his hands by Kanan Mosley Smith. And here comes the official with the call. Oh, defensive holding against Woodland Hills will be a 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. And that will bring the ball up 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. 10-yard penalty, holding is 5 yards. Isn't it, Matt? Isn't defensive holding 5 yards?
5 yards on defensive holding.
Yeah, okay, well, they're going to call it 10. And now it's 1st and 10 for Bethel Park at the 32-yard line. Well, the officials have certainly made their impact on this football game. Let's see if the Woodland Hills defense can make the final impact with just over a minute to play. Bliss steps up. He's got some room in front of him. Still on his feet, and he'll be spun down close to a first down with that 10-yard carry.
And that's a good play call because Bethel knows Woodland Hills defense is going to be sitting back, and Bliss, good mobility, is going to have a lot of green in front of him. Make a quick decision and get down and get a nice first down for your team.
So it's 2nd and short after that 9-yard gain.
Didn't get the first down.
Why is the clock stopped? Why is the clock stopped? Okay, well, the officials are going to measure. Oh, you know what? Matt, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize to me.
What I can't comprehend is officials are supposed to not be an important part of the football game. They're supposed to be the background of a football game. Instead, they've been a prominent part of this football game. A questionable call, a lot of missed holdings. On and on we could.
A world of time here. Now they finally start it.
The Blackhawks, I formation, they motion out of it. Bliss is back. He's pressured. He's going to throw, and that pass is complete to Bray Ford along that far sideline. Out of bounds at the 8-yard line, 37 seconds to play, and Bethel Park is inside of the Woodland Hills red zone, and it'll be 1st and goal for the Blackhawks at the 8-yard line.
And once again, a running back squirts out of the backfield. That time it was Ford. He went in motion, and Bliss once again hangs in the pocket and makes a nice throw just an out to the sideline there, and Ford catches it down to the 8.
14-yard pickup on that play.
This drive started at the 20, Adam. This is play 13 on this drive for Bethel.
High backfield for the Blackhawks. Handoff, Bray Ford, nothing doing. He'll be brought down after a gain of 4. And the clock will continue to tick, and Bethel Park calls a timeout that I didn't know they still had.
That's got to be their last timeout.
Well, that obviously will be their final timeout. Whew. Bethel Park getting a lot of help to get down to this Wolverine 4-yard line. The Blackhawks are out of timeouts. Bliss is under center. He's back to pass. He's pressured. He's hit. And the ball is tipped. And out of bounds it will go. And I do believe it was J-Ron Polk on coverage for Woodland Hills.
And that was Devlin McBride.
No, it was Juan Price who broke up the pass. McBride on the pressure.
McBride with the pressure there, and Wolverines, one sack could almost end this puppy too. And Bliss was able to get the ball off. And good play by Price there. As Bliss just got that off.
So that incomplete pass, a rare one tonight for Bethel Park, as they have 190 yards in the air.
Play number 15.
Bliss will step under center with an high backfield behind him. Again, 26 seconds to go. Bliss is back to pass, looking left, and it's caught for a Bethel Park touchdown. Well, as you can hear by the reaction along that far sideline, Bethel Park is a point away from tying this football game.
Barofio, a little out pattern there, and he bobbled it initially real quick, but was able to quickly gather possession of that football. And Barofio with a third down touchdown reception, and we're going to attempt to tie this, but extra points at him. You can't take them for granted on Bethel. They've struggled a little bit.
The snap is down, the kick is up, and that kick is good, and the game is tied at 35 with 21 seconds to play. The score, Woodland Hills 35, Bethel Park 35. This is the first time the game has been tied since it was
15 plays it took Bethel, but they finally hammered it in, and Barofio with the touchdown catch ties this game up.
Mike Caprera on the kick return for the Wolverines. He'll be brought down at around the 38-yard line, where it'll be first backfield for the Wolverines. Timbers is the tail. Double tight end set. Timbers takes the handoff on the stretch. Here he comes, Dom Timbers, first down yardage inside of the 50 to the 49-yard line. The Wolverines can get on the ball and spike it. Yezi's under center. Back to pass is John Yezevich. He's going to step to his right. He has some time. Now he's pressured. He's going to fumble the football. It's loose. Bethel Park looks to pick it up. Woodland Hills, it's still loose. And now it is still loose. We see a big defensive lineman, and there's a scramble for the ball, a lateral, and the ball is finally downed. And we are headed to overtime. And Ford is met at the 5-yard line and forced out of bounds. So that's one backfield. Handoff, Bray Ford, met at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss of one for Bray Ford. Bliss is under center. Hard count. He's back to pass. Looking left, throwing left, and that pass is incomplete. Brendan Didiano. The ball's on the left hash. The kick is up, and that kick is blocked. And Woodland Hills has an opportunity to win this game with one of the best. Is going to probably try to kick on third down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolverines at the 10-yard line. The Wolverines just came in there, a house of fire, and blocked that field goal. The kick was very... Well, here they come again with another field goal attempt for Didiano. And this field goal is no good, wide left. So the karma gods have smiled on Woodland Hills.
And the football gods there, the shaky kicking game for Bethel. And Adam, it'd be nice, guys. They probably don't know what's going on.
That's
either.
what I'm talking about.
Right.
Handoff, Timbers, Dom Timbers on his feet inside of the 5, where he'll be brought down after a 5. High backfield behind Yezevich, handoff, Timbers over right tackle, Dom Timbers down to the 2-yard line, still churning, down to the 1-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and goal for the Wolverines. They're going to say he's goal for Woodland Hills at the 2-yard line. Motion man is Gray. The handoff to Timbers. Dom Timbers will be spun down a yard deep in the backfield at the 3-yard line. Woodland Hills got a penalty for excessive celebration. That should have been 1st and 25
It should carry
Anyhow,
over to
forget
the
that.
offense.
Here comes Shifo for a 20-yard field goal. The hold is down. The kick is up. That kick is good. And Woodland Hills is headed to the WPIAL championship game. The sophomore, Sam Shifo, has punched the dance card for the black and turquoise. And the Wolverines have defeated the Bethel Park Blackhawks for the second time this year. And the Wolverines will take on their backyard rivals, the Gateway Gators, in the WPIAL championship game a week from tonight at Heinz Field.
Can't wait, and we see Sam soaking up the love from his teammates, Adam, and back in September in some meaningless games with Woodland Hills beating the likes of Connellsville, that they simulated that. Coach Novak took the time in those games to get something productive out of a blowout game, and it pays off right here in front of our eyes. A game that shouldn't have gone to overtime. Woodland Hills comes through. Great to have reliable kicking in the clutch. Sam Shifo, the sophomore. Woodland Hills and Gateway, Adam Gusky. I can't wait. Next week can't come soon enough.
Folks, everybody that tuned in on Woodland Hills High School Television, thanks a lot for all of your support tonight as you tuned in. And, of course, our TV staff upstairs was right on the ball all night long. We're going to wrap it up on channels 413 and 98 on the TV side. Thanks a lot to Larry George, Lee Schaefer III, Lee Schaefer Jr., and Joe Slick and everybody that made tonight's broadcast possible on television. Thanks a lot. We're going to come back after this 2-minute timeout on the radio side with the State Senator Jay Costa postgame show. Woodland Hills gets off the last exit on the highway to Heinz, and they will be at Heinz Field. You're listening to MSA Sports in the Woodland Hills Football Network.